Everybody, David here. Welcome to David Heavener TV. I've got Dr. Michael Lake. Dr. Lake?
It's great to be with you.
Thank you. Question. America. Make America great again. America's the greatest nation in the world. But when I read the Bible, I don't see America in the Bible, but maybe you can tell me something different.
Well, I think some researchers find it in the Bible. To me, I've not conclusively found it.
But you see, they also say civilizations don't last past like 250 years, roughly, okay? We're at like 240-something years, right, in America. I mean, do you see the way we're going culturally, spiritually? I mean, are we going to make it, in your opinion?
Only if we have revival. One of the things that we look at, there are certain indicators within a fallen culture. Sexual perversion, destruction of the family. These type of things are basically canaries in the coal mine. That when these things begin to manifest within a culture, the culture is about ready to implode. And I think Western culture is right on the precipice of imploding in on itself.
Wow. So what you're saying, I think, is that America is on the edge of falling off the cliff, yes, unless we have a spiritual revival.
Yes. Key
question, are we going to have a spiritual revival?
I think there's a possibility. I'm even seeing hope within the millennials. The millennials want truth. They don't want it watered down. There's a lot of the social agenda that's being forced on us right now. I've even read articles, I think it was in the Washington Post, that talked about how that the millennials are now beginning to reject the LGBT narrative.
Wow.
Because they're tired of people shoving things down their throat.
Right.
Secondly, they don't use the mainstream media as their source of information.
Right.
And so that type of mind control has been broken on them.
Wow.
And so if we can be succinct and historically accurate in what we present, I think we can capture their minds.
Now, if we do have revival, because I know you were a traveling pastor, kind of a circuit rider. Years ago, you would go do a lot of conferences and preach, right? Yeah. You're a preacher. Is the coming revival amongst the millennials or whomever in America, is it going to look like the old-time Billy Graham revivals, or will it be different?
I think we're going to see a lot of it in smaller churches and home churches. In fact, with what we have with Biblical Life TV, I get reports from people all over the world that say, and first I invited a couple of friends over to watch, and we had to move it to the den because we can't fit 75 people in our living room. And I hear that from all over the world.
Yeah.
And so there's a greater hunger there. And in fact, I'm even getting reports from regular established churches that they say, Wednesday night, we just let you preach.
Yeah, I do a live show on Monday nights. I have to get you on the show, by the way. But I have groups all over America and even abroad that meet on Monday night. They watch the show, and then they have a Bible study afterwards, kind of on the same theme, right? This is kind of what you're talking about.
They'll watch the either 30-minute clip or the hour clip, depending upon
right.
It. And they said sometimes we'll discuss it for 3 hours afterwards.
So this is a form of revival.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a bunch of people in a room getting all, sensationalism, the rolling around, and I'm not saying all that's bad, but it doesn't have to be like that, right?
Sensationalism in itself is not revival. Revival are changed hearts and the determination to walk with God regardless of what the culture does.
But you know what I'm talking about. When you see the old Billy Graham episodes on television, and I'm not coming against that, but it's always, he gives the hardcore message. They come forward. It's kind of that, it's a large group of people. What you're saying, and I agree, is that it could be in these last days that it's going to be a much smaller group, much more intensified.
And I think phase two, one of the things when you look at let's say the demographics of the Billy Graham era, that about 5 to 10% of them stayed true and actually became a part of a church. It was an event, and after that I got my Willy Wonka golden ticket and I can just go live like I want. Where with what God's doing now, there is hardcore discipleship going on for real transformation.
Right, exactly, because, and I don't want to get into the Billy Graham thing, that's another show, but my wife went to one when she was young, And she said, well, I went forward. And I said, really? Did you hear the call of God? And she said, well, not necessarily. I just did because I knew that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, people have to understand, I'm in the film industry. A lot of this stuff is theatrics and television. It makes great television, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not going to get into Billy Graham with you right now, but when we come back, I want to talk about the condition of the church today. I want to talk about the lukewarm church and exactly what is it?
Yes.